Alrighty, well, good evening, everyone. It is so nice to see you all here tonight. I'm really excited to share with you all the information you need to know in order to cast your vote this November. So, my name is Amanda Ritten. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the public policy organizer for San Diego 350. So, since all of you are here, I'm sure that you are aware that we have an extremely important election coming up. Not only is this the first year that all California residents will receive a ballot through the mail, so I'm excited to share with you all the important information you need to know to ensure that your voice is heard. And just a few housekeeping things before I go forward. I will be sharing a toolkit with all of this information that I'm going to be going over tonight with plenty of links and resources. So be sure to check that out and share it with your friends and family. I'll be sure to just drop the link in the chat after I'm done presenting. And also, we're going to have plenty of time for questions after this presentation. So feel free to put them in the chat while I'm presenting and I will get to them at the very end. Alrighty, so some important dates. So I'm excited to share with you all the important information you need to know to ensure that your voice is heard. And just a few housekeeping things before I go forward. I will be sharing a toolkit with all of this information that I'm going to be going over tonight with plenty of links and resources. So be sure to check that out and share it with your friends and family. I'll be sure to just drop the link in the chat after I'm done presenting. And also, we're going to have plenty of time for questions after this presentation, so feel free to put them in the chat while I'm presenting and I will get to them at the very end. Alrighty, so some important dates that you need to be aware of from starting now until Election Day. So on September 24th, that's when ballot guide booklets are going to be mailed or emailed to all registered voters. On October 5th is when all mail-in ballots are going to be sent out. On October 19th, that's going to be the last day to register to vote. And then polling sites are going to be open from October 31st through November 3rd. And then November 3rd, of course, is Election Day. Hopefully all of us have already marked our calendars. Alrighty, so let's talk about the ballot itself. So all voters will receive their state and local sample ballot guide booklets in the mail, or they'll be put in the mail on September 24th. If you have opted out of getting your ballot guide mailed to you, you should receive it in an email on September 24th. This information is also going to be online around that date as well. But in the meantime, be sure to check out the statewide voting guide and then also the San Diego County and City ballot measure information that's available online. These will be available in the toolkit that I will be sending to you all. And they're also on our website currently. So be sure to take the time from now until when you receive your ballot to review this information and do your own research to ensure that you are an informed voter. Also, just wanted to highlight that San Diego 350 will be releasing our recommendations on a few state and local ballot measures, and we'll be reviewing all of those at our October monthly meeting, which will be on October 13th at 7 p.m. So mail-in ballots or absentee ballots, they're both can be used as the same. They're going to be sent out to every registered voter on October 5th. So that means that all voters should receive their ballot by October 8th through October 10th. So we really encourage you all to check the status of your ballot. The state will actually put a ballot tracker, and this will be linked in the toolkit. So hopefully that will be an easy way to ensure that your ballots are delivered on time. But if for whatever reason you do not receive a ballot by October 20th, be sure to call the registrar of voters and another one will be sent. Alrighty, so how do you register to vote? So registration to vote is available online. All you'll need is your California driver's license or a California identification card number, the last 4 digits of your social security number, and then your date of birth. If you don't have a California license or a California identification card number, you can still register by printing off a physical copy of the voter application and then sending it back in through the mail. And the last day to register to vote is October 19th. If you are currently registered to vote, be sure that you're registered to vote at your current address by October 19th. This is really important if you have moved within the last few years, since these ballots cannot be forwarded to you if they get delivered to the wrong address. So either register to vote or check your registration status by October 19th to ensure that all of your information is correct. And hopefully, since all of you are here, you'll register to vote and check on that registration status and make sure that's up to date by October 19th. But if you or maybe a friend or family member hasn't registered by that date, don't fret. Same-day voter registration will be available. And you can do this by visiting your county elections office, a vote center, a satellite office designated by your county elections official. And you can do this during the 14 days prior to and including election day. And that will grant you conditionally register you to vote, and you can cast your provisional ballot. And you can learn more about this information as well as how to find those registration places in our toolkit. And then lastly, for those who are 16 or 17 and plan to vote in future elections, you can actually pre-register to vote. So new voter registration must be completed by Tuesday, October 20th. And again, you'll need that California license or identification card number, or you can print, sign, and mail in your voter application. Also wanted to say that if you aren't old enough to vote yet, there are still plenty of ways you can get involved in this election, and a few of our youth leaders will actually be sharing a little bit more of that information later on in this meeting. All right, so how do you cast your vote? There are three main ways that you can vote this year. First one being you can turn in your ballot through the mail. And if you choose to do this, we strongly encourage you to do this as soon as possible. If mailed back, the ballot will need to be postmarked by November 3rd at 8 p.m. And no postage is required, so no need to dig around in your drawer for an extra stamp. Second way to do it, you can drop off your ballot at a polling place by Tuesday, November 3rd. There's going to be multiple locations that will be drop-off sites, and these will be open from October 31st through November 3rd. And you can find those sites in our toolkit. And then lastly, in-person polling will still be available. Polling sites are going to be open this year from October 31st through November 3rd. Polls are going to be open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. from the 31st through the 2nd. And then on election day, November 3rd, they're going to be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And there's plenty of ways to find where your closest polling location is. You can either do that by calling, finding it out online, or texting VOTE to go vote. Again, all of this will be in our voting information guide, our toolkit. And then additionally, early voting will be available at the registrar's office starting October 5th, and that's going to run Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you find yourself voting in person or turning in that ballot at a physical site, be sure to bring your mask. So now that you all are aware of all these options available to cast your ballot, I strongly encourage you to create a game plan for how you will vote. Set a time and a date that you plan to return your ballot, and check in with your friends and family to ensure that they have a game plan to cast their vote as well. And I'll just end by saying we are stronger together, and with this election especially, we need all hands on deck. So be sure to share all this information with your friends and family, and again, set up that game plan to get to the polls. Alrighty, and now I will take some questions. All right, so I see we have one question in the chat. It's really important. It says, do you need to bring an ID with you? This is a really, really important question. So you actually don't need to bring your ID if you are voting in person or if you're dropping off your ballot in person. If you're registered to vote, they should have a signature of yours on file, and that's how they'll compare the signature um, when you go to vote or that's on your mail-in ballot. So no need to bring an ID with you, but if you do have an ID, I would strongly suggest that you bring it just in case. All right, another great question. It says, what are some nonpartisan resources? So there's actually quite a bit of resources. Those are linked on our website and on our in our toolkit. There are a few state ones that showcase the different sides of each issue and really break down, if I vote yes on this, what does that mean? If I vote no on that, what does that mean? So strongly suggest that you look at those before you get your ballot. I can also drop those links in the chat as well. Alrighty, another question in the chat. Will voter information on each ballot be provided in California? So yes, that on September 24th, that's when the Registrar of Voters is going to start sending out sample ballots to all registered voters. And so that will be a great opportunity for you to really review specifically what exactly is going to be on your ballot and take the time to understand what each of those things that you are voting for mean. Alrighty, so next question we got in the chat was nonpartisan get out the vote efforts, if there are any. And there are plenty, and we're actually going to go over some later on in this meeting. Marie Chen is going to be going over some of that. But there are plenty of ways to get involved in this election without getting involved in a specific campaign. So that will be coming up.